Hello my dear learners, welcome to my channel. In this video series, we are learning Java programming language with practical demonstration. In the previous video, we learned about how to read all the data of a file and print it on the console by using FileInputStream class and RandomAccessFile class practically. To understand that concept, please watch my previous video. Now, in this video, we will learn about serialization and deserialization practically by using Serializable Interface, ObjectOutputStream class and ObjectInputStream class. So, let's start the session. First of all, I will teach you the basic concept about the serialization and the classes which are used to do the serialization and deserialization. So in the previous video, we learned about how to read the data from the file and how to write the data into the file. So that is what we have done in our previous video. For this video, we are going to learn about serialization and deserialization. If you have an object and you want to store your object into the file, at that time the serialization is used. Okay, so this is what the benefit of the serialization. If you have created an object of the class and you want to store all the data available into the object to the file, at that time the serialization will be used. To do the serialization, there will be a class named as ObjectOutputStream class, and you can do the deserialization also. Deserialization means you can read the data of your object from file. So object output is an interface available. This object output stream is directly a subclass from a output stream class. It is implements the object output interface. Object output stream class is implementing object output interface. So this is what I have written over here. It implements object output interface. So when we will do the practical for this, we will implement the object output interface, or we can implement the serializable interface also. So this is what the object output stream class. Constructor of the object output stream requires an output stream as a parameter. So when this constructor is called, it requires the parameter of the output stream. Now object output interface extend the data output interface, and it inherit all the method of data output and has the additional method called write object. Write object is the method it will use to write your object into the file. If you want to store your object data into the file, at that time it is called a serialization. Serialization is a process of converting an object into sequence of bytes such that those bytes can be used to recreate the object in the same state. Okay, so suppose if you have an object and you want to store that object into the file, it means there will be a sequence of bytes need to be stored into the file. At that time the serialization process will be used. Serialization is a process of making the object state persistent. So it will used to make your object state persistent. That means that the state of an object is converted into the stream of byte and stored into the file. What do you mean by a persistent state? Persistent state means you can store your object data into the file. To do so, here we have the serialization process. In the same way, we can use the deserialization concept to bring back the object state from bytes. So now suppose if you have stored your object into the file, now you want to get back, at that time the deserialization will be used. This is one of the important concept in Java programming, because this serialization is mostly used in the network programming. If you want to do the network programming by using Java, this concept will be used. Only the instance of a class is implementing the serializable interface may be serialized using a write object method. Serializable is a marker interface without any method. So keep this point in your mind also. Serializable is a marker interface without any method. So if any interface has no method, it means it's called a marker interface. Keep this point in your mind also. To do so, we have the transient also. So transient is a keyword of the Java. It is used to indicate that the variable should not be serialized. If you create a variable with a transient keyword, the variable should not be serialized. So if you do not want to serialize your variable, at that time this variable can be defined with the transient keyword. By default, all the variable in the object is converted to persistent state. So if you have created a variable of the class, it means that it is converted to the persistent state. In some cases, you may want to avoid persisting some variable because you don't have the necessity to transfer across the network. If you do not want to transfer any variable onto the network, at that time you can create that variable as a transient variable. So you can declare those variable as transient. So it means you are not allowing to the variable travel in the network. If the variable is declared as transient, then it will not be persisted. It is the main purpose of the transient keyword. So a variable will not be persistent state. For example, in account class has an instance variable for PIN number. Okay, this is secure information and we would not like to be persisted using the write object method. This can be done by declaring such field to be a transient. So it will provide a security to your data also. If you have created a variable with transient keyword, it will not be persistent state. Okay, it will secure your data. This is secure the information. We would not like this to be persistent using the write object method. So this will not allow your variable to be in the persistent state. So if you call the write object method, the write object method will use to write the object data into the file. This can be done by using declaring a field as a transient. Now ObjectInputStream has the object input interface over here. Let's start the practical demonstration of serialization and deserialization process. I am creating a simple class over here, serializable demo. I am copying the class name and I am saving the file now. I will save this file name as serializable demo.java. Here I will write a main method. So still now what we have done, we have just created a simple class name is serializable demo. In that class I have created a main method. Now I will create a class name as employee and I am creating an object also, employee equal to new employee, and over here we have called a constructor. So it means that there will be a class name as employee. So I am just creating a simple class name as employee over here. In that employee class we will have the instance variable. So a class has the instance variable. Say for example, employee ID, name and salary will be the instance variable. So here first of all what I will do, I will create an instance variable for the employee class. So I will create an instance variable string. Say for example, the instance variable of the employee class will be name. Okay, so string name is an instance variable. I will create another instance variable integer emp id semicolon, and I will create another instance variable integer salary over here. So these three is the instance variable of the employee class, and by using that e object you can use that instance variable of the employee class. So this is just a simple class I have created and I have created object of the class. Now I will write a constructor over here for the employee class. Okay, so to write the constructor I have to write the same name as a class name. Okay, so I have written the employee constructor over here and this will be the default constructor. But I want to provide the parameterized constructor from here also, because I will pass the two values over here 101. Say for example a name of the employee Ram and the salary of the employee will be 50,000. So this is the object I have created with the value. So here I need to create a parameterized constructor because this is what our default constructor is. Now I will create a parameterized constructor employee, and in the parameter I will create a three parameter over here. Say for example integer emp id comma string name comma integer salary over here. So I will pass three value when I will create an object. I will pass three value to the employee constructor. So these dot empid equal to empid, I will initialize the value from parameter to the instance variable. Now I will write these dot name equal to name semicolon, these dot salary. Okay, so I am changing the parameter name from capital S to small s. These dot salary equal to salary. So here what we have done by these lines, we have initialized our instance variable by when we create a object over here. So this keyword is very important over here. Now I will write a method, a string, to string over here. So this is the method that I am overriding over here. Okay, and here I will return the value of the particular object. Say for example empid plus with a concatenation with a string name plus concatenating with a string salary. So this two string method will return the value of the particular object with the string. So this two string method will return the instance variable value of the particular variable. When I will call the toString method, it will return the value of the object which we have initialized when we call a constructor. So this is just a simple class that I have created over here. Class name is employee, has a 3 instance variable and a default constructor and a parameterized constructor. Now I will implement the serializable interface in my employee class. So this serializable interface is used to do the serialization process. It is a kind of interface, that is why we need to implement in our class. So I have implements the serializable into the employee class, and this is what the parameterized constructor that we have initialized all the parameter to our instance variable. When we call this constructor, to this object will be created with the particular value that we have passed as a parameter. So this is what the basic I have created a employee class which are implements the serializable interface. So here I have created a 3 object E1, E2 and E3. Say for example, now with the different value 102 over here, and the value will be Lakshman. Okay, now I am just changing the value of my parameter 50,000, 30,000 and 40,000. The name is Ram, Lakshman and Bharat. The employee ID is 101, 102 and 103. This is just, I am just giving you the simple example for the serialization process. Now I am opening my CMD, changing the font size of my CMD for the proper visualization. Now I will locating to the particular folder. I am going to D drive. In the D drive I have the Java folder. In the Java folder I have the file folder. And now I am compiling the file javac serializable demo.java. Okay, see over here we are getting an error, cannot find symbol serializable. So this serializable interface which we are using in our program are not available. So I have to import that. Import java.io.serializable. So I am now importing the particular class and interface over here. So when I am going to compile the file, the another error occurs. ToString in employee cannot override ToString in object. Attempting to assign weaker access privileges was public. So when you are implementing this interface and you are overriding the ToString method, so it means that you need to declare a ToString method as a public over here. You can understand this concept by watching my interface video. Now it is compiled successfully. You can see over here this file is compiled successfully now. So 3 object is created with different values. When we call a ToString method, it is available in the serializable interface. So when you implement an interface, the method should be public in the class. Now I am running the file Java serializable demo. It is running successfully. It means that there are no any error in this code. This is just I have created an employee class which implements serializable interface and with a instance variable, constructor, default constructor and overridden method name as toString. This is just a simple Java code. We do not have done any kind of serialization till now. Now what I need to do is I want to write this object into the file. So this is very important concept of the Java. You can write your object into the file, not the data. you can write your data in the file. That is what we have done in our previous video with practical demonstration. Why this is important? Because you can store your object data into the file. This is what we can call a serialization. And to do the serialization, the object output stream class will be used. So here in the main function, I will create an object of the object output stream class. So I will write object output stream OOS equal to new object output stream. So this is what we are calling a constructor of the object output stream, and in the parameter we need to provide the file output stream class. So the parameter for the object output stream will be the file output stream class. So here I will call anonymously new file output stream class, and in that file output stream parameter I will pass argument of 0. So here I need to provide the file name over here. Okay, so that data I want to store into the file. I am compiling the file. You can see over here, cannot find symbol object output stream. So we are using the object output stream class, but we do not have imported yet. So I need to import java.io.objectOutputStream class. So I am writing object output stream semicolon. Now I am compiling the file. You can see over here we are getting an error. File output stream class cannot find symbol. So I have to import that also. Import java.io.fileOutputStream class. Now it is compiled successfully. Okay, we are getting an error. When we are compiling the file, we are getting an error. Unreported exception, file not found exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. You can handle this error by two ways. Okay, by using the try catch or by using the throws keyword over here. So I will write a throws exception. So every exception we will get, we can convert it into from compile time to run time now by using the throws keyword. It is compiled successfully now. You can see over here this code is compiled now, and we have created our object for the object output stream class. Okay, so what I will do over here, I will call a method to store the object into the file. There is a method named as write object. So I will use oos dot write object. So write object is the method. It will use to write your object into the file, and here in the parameter you need to provide an object. So here I have stored my e1 object into the file, which the file name I will provide from the CMD. I am copying and paste it over here, E1, E2 and 3. So here I have written all my three objects into the file. At last I have to flush the data, os.flush over here. So I am removing the data which are stored in my temporary memory. So here by flush method I am flushing all the data, and at last I need to close the stream over here. The object output stream class has the parameter of the file output stream, and in the file output stream there is a parameter named as an argument of 0. So here when I will run the file, I need to provide the file name from the CMD. So here I am compiling the file. Here we have the demo.txt file. Say for example, I am compiling file first, javac serializable demo, compiling the file. It is compiled successfully. Now I am running the file java serializable demo with a file name. Say for example, file located in the F drive, f:/testout.txt. So there's testout.txt file. I want to store this object data into my file. So it is run successfully. As you can see over here, the file is created named as testout, and in that file the data is written, but it is not readable for the user because we have stored our object data into the file. It is not in the readable format for the user. You can say that it is the data is encrypted. All the sequence of byte will be stored into the file. So this is all you are getting. Your byte data of your object will be stored into the file. E1, E2 and E3 object that we have write onto the file it is written as a byte value. So object output stream class is used to do the serialization process. Here you can see the data is written into the file which are available into the object. So test out is our file we have created and store our object data over here. So this process is called a serialization process. When you store your object data into the file, it is called a serialization process. So just let me write over here, it is the process of the serialization. So when you store your object data, your object into the file, it's called a serialization. There is a write object method, and at last you need to flush and close the stream. So this is what the serialization process is. If you want to store your object into the file, at that time the serialization will be used, and to do the serialization the object output stream class will be used. There is a method named as a write object to store your object into the file. So this is what we have done with the serialization. Now we are going to do the deserialization process. So here first of all I will comment over here. We will do the deserialization process over here. Now you want to read the object from your file. At that time the object input stream class will be used, and we need to create an object of the object input stream class OIS equal to new object input stream, and in that object input stream constructor there is a parameter. Here I am writing new file input stream, and in the file input stream parameter you need to provide a file name. Here I will write argument of 0. It means we will get the file name from the CMD from the user side. So here what we have done, we have created an object of the object output stream class, because now we want to read the object which are stored into the file. Now there is a method ois.read object. So this read object method will use to read the data, will use to read the object which are stored into the file. But keep this point in your mind, the read object method will return the byte data. So that byte data we need to cast it into the employee class over here as per this program. So assume that this write object method will return the data into the byte, and here we have the object as a type. Okay, so this read object method will return the byte data, so we need to cast it into the employee. That's why I am writing over here employee in the round bracket. So here what we have done, we have read the object which are stored into the file, and then we have stored that object data into the E4. So here I have written employee E4 equal to, in the bracket employee bracket over OIS dot read object. So that read object will return the byte data which are stored into the file. See over here, this is the byte data which are written into the file, and it is the object which we have written into the file. So this object E1, E2 and E3 we have write object into the file. Now we are reading that object from the file. So it is those read data method will return the byte data. So that byte data we need to convert into the employee type. That is why we have typecasted, and we have created an object named as E4. So I am copying this line and paste it over here. I am just changing the value E5 and E6 over here. So every object will be read from the file, and we have stored these object into the E4, E5 and E6. So now I will print the data system.out.println E4 plus concatenating with a string E5 plus plus concatenating with a string and E6 over here. Okay, so what we have done, we have read the object which are stored into the file. Now I am just deleting the file, and I am compiling the file again, javac serialization demo. Enter, we are getting an error, cannot find symbol object input stream and file input stream. You can see over here there is a error we are getting, object input stream and file input stream are not available into our program. So I need to import that. Import java dot io dot file input stream semicolon import java dot io dot object input stream semicolon. I am saving the file. Now I am compiling the file again. Java C serializable demo.java. You can see it is compiled successfully now. But the file is not created yet. When we will run the file, Java serializable demo F drive. Here I am running the class file with the file name as a parameter test serialization.txt. Okay, so this file will be created and all our object will be stored into the file, and then we will read the object and we have printed on the console. That is what we have done in the program code. When we run the file, you can see over here all the data of the object is written onto the console, but it is not written properly. So I will change into my code. I will write over here every time this object will be printed. I am just copying this line and paste it over here, println e5, println e6. Now I am compiling again and running again. You can see over here we are getting the data of the object which are stored into the file. So this read object method is used to read the object from the file. We have stored the data into the object, and the write object method will use to write your object into the file. So this is how you can store your object into the file, and you can retrieve your object which are stored into the file, and you can print onto the console. So this is what the concept of serialization and deserialization. Here I have given you the practical demonstration for both, how to do the serialization and how to do the deserialization. You need to cast it to the employee because the read object method will return the byte data of your object, and here you have the type name as an employee. So you have to cast into the employee object. So this is what the process of serialization and deserialization, which I have given you the practical demonstration. So this is how you can write your object into the file, and you can read your object which are stored into the file by using serialization and deserialization. So that's all from my side in this video. In the next video we will learn about what is thread, life cycle of the thread, and 3 ways to create a thread practically. So stay tuned to my channel, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.